like that. We're rolling that out kind of to like warn people in our
Yeah,
audience.
I saw on your story you were posting a bunch of stuff about like Black Friday Klaviyo stuff.
Yeah, so yeah, that was yeah, we had that in the works, and then you kind of made that. So we're kind of like framing certain Black Friday offers there, and then what we're doing because kind of inspired by what you got going on, and to be like that offer that's like just a supplement is like the performance creative and
Yes.
more specifically stills and like product imagery. So like we have a fire photographer as part of our team. And so
Nice.
for all of our current clients, one of the bottlenecks that we're seeing right now is that like all of them for whatever reason have really shit like product imagery, like just basic like studio product imagery.
Yes.
So we put together like three packages. We're gonna like price anchor it kind of high, and then to our current clients, I want to like just get some cash this month to give them like a Black Friday deal to level
Yep.
up their creative. These are evergreen product photos. We'll rent out a studio, do the shoot, whatever. And then I kind of think that might be something along those lines is something that we can do kind of beyond the Black Friday of like
Yes.
just that performance creative and like maybe even maintain like the for supplement brand, for fitness brand, for maybe try to stay in our wheelhouse and niche, maybe not, maybe expand. But that's kind of like the last 48 hours since we last
Yeah.
spoke of like
No,
where it
that's really
was.
good, man. No, I like it. I sent you an IGDM and now you got 1,000 things running for it, which I appreciate that you're doing that. That's cool. Yeah, the stills is a good offer. It was something that we offer all the time because well, we did it as a throw in because we had videographers and we just assumed that they could hold a camera
Yeah.
too and do photography. Turns out that's not the fucking case. Apparently they're very different. As a non-creative guy, I didn't know that. But
Yeah.
yeah, we did that. And so even with your Black Friday offer, which is cool, and maybe you're already doing this, so fuck me if you've already thought of this, but if you do the stills and go, hey, we're going to give you the stills, we're going to make you some graphics with those stills that are evergreen, and then also make you some Black Friday specific graphics, which could be same picture just with like whatever the 40% discount or whatever it is happens to be on top of that. And then you can hit a couple of
Yeah.
things to where that offer is not just the stills or just the Black Friday stuff, but it encompasses
Yeah.
a big pain point you have right now plus longer term value, which obviously you can charge more for.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, the way that we're thinking about it is like because I don't want to just be a creative agency. I want
Yep.
us to be like performance first. So like we're adding like maybe like we're thinking about like if it's a cold brand, even with current clients, maybe like add like a creative strategy call that would kind of like bounce ideas with
Yep.
them and get say like this is we're gonna basically like build out a mood board or like show like competitors like a lot of these clients like they don't know like you know how it is. Like they don't know like ads in the sense of like they think things look good, but like things need to
Yes.
perform. So try to like give them like wrap their minds around like, yes, we're gonna do creative. Yes, it's like just photo, video, but like with the goal of performance, so that hopefully will kind of get them thinking
Yes.
about bringing them
Yes. No,
into
a thousand,
performance
a thousand
marketing.
percent. And T, just to give you some background here, we're talking about Patrick and I had a call last week, and we're talking about how to use somewhat lower ticket offer to get into a company that otherwise wouldn't want to work with you, and then using that to then sell them up into a longer term offer. So before I get in that, I wanted to give you a little bit of context at least. But yes, no, I think that's super smart. One of the big things, and I actually really appreciate the call that we got to have because I've been fleshing out, brain dumping everything that I can about these offers specifically for like intro to upsell offer. And one of the big things that I was thinking through as we were doing this is like, especially with these companies who already have internal marketing teams, agencies, whatever, which a lot of them will.
Yeah.
Really, the point of the intro offer is yes to get them the value, but also to showcase like why you are a valuable addition to that team. And so having those sort of concept meetings where you talk through the strategy like you're talking about is the easiest way for you to showcase like, yeah, we paid for a one-time thing so we could get this outcome, but also like those guys over the Visionary Group were like, they said some shit that I'd never heard of before. And so
Yeah.
really you
Yeah.
want to position yourself as like, well, we can do this one thing and you can leave, or we have all these other things that you already know, like you already trust me, right? It's so much that is just building that trust
Right.
of I'm worth paying 10 grand a month because you saw the value that I can give you in the deliverables and in just the conversations itself. So I
Yeah.
think that's a smart way to think about it.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. And yeah, basically like I mentioned like the entry level thing to my like team and like we got that going on. We're thinking about like entry level like I don't know, like simple like email stuff too, maybe. I don't know if you have any like 2 cents around that. Like basically just like guarantee like a welcome flow guaranteed to outbeat your current one, your money, like something very strong on the front end that like is low lift for us, and like
Yeah.
maybe we can lift them into other things because we have we have a lot of good email case studies, and then what I did today, which is kind of like maybe this could be valuable for anyone else, is like we started like just ripping like just to absolutely try to get these bigger clients, just like free work, and then I put it on blast like on LinkedIn. And we did there's a company called Rise that we had a big meeting with like earlier in the year. We pitched them like a 40K a month retainer. We weren't able to get that in the door. And they kind of like ghosted us, and I've been following up just since then, just trying to try to re-engage them.
Do that
and they're
forever.
local, so yeah, we pitched them in person, so it was kind of sick. But
nice.
Anyway, we put on blast. We saw that like they're like the biggest brand in the space we work, so they've had 2 big launches, and so we created a concept for those like campaigns, put it on blast on LinkedIn, shared it with them, and he loved it. That we're in talks. They're currently. I said, go and test this. Like, run these emails to your list of like 1 million+ people, and just let me know how it performs or whatever. And then like we're trying to engage into some deal. He was offered to even buy it from us or whatever, but I was like, fuck, that's sick. If you're trying to find a scalable way to like just stand out, win the trust, and like that's not scalable because my whole team has to create designs and stuff. But like on a once a week basis, like I can see us landing like a big account by just doing that scrappy stuff.
Yeah, no, I 1,000% agree with you. What I love for the intro offers are like these one-time builds that can show a ton of value up front. And so an email offer that we ran all the time was like audit plus flows plus attribution. And so we'll audit all the stuff, tell you everywhere you have areas of opportunity. We'll build a welcome flow, post-purchase retargeting, and an abandoned cart flow that'll beat the ones that you currently have. And then we'll also set up all the attribution on the back end, because a lot of people obviously don't do that very well. And so they're missing out on where their money is actually going and coming from. And so those types of builds you can do easy 5 to 8K just on a one time to get them in, and then upsell them on either recurring email or recurring. Like if I was you, I would be trying to use these intro offers, the creative offer, the email offer, whatever, to then upsell them into a full service package, which includes email and ads and creative monthly or quarterly or whatever that happens to look like on the creative and email side. But yeah, I would, and the truth of the matter is, I'm sure you know this, you're just gonna have to test out a bunch of different things and kind of see like which one gets the best response. But no, I mean, I agree with you. I think that like leading with all that free value is great. And I have something that we used to do, especially when trying to sell big creative packages to these enterprise clients, is I would take like our pitch deck, and then I would make a new pitch deck that's in all of their branding, that's all specific stuff around them, use images from their website, their logos, build the whole thing custom to them. And then I would send it over to them and go like, hey, I was just thinking about the conversation that we had. I was sitting with the team. We came up with a couple of things. Hope it's helpful for you. If you have any questions on it, just let me know. And that works really, really well for people who were super interested, but for whatever reason, whether in your control or not, they just didn't close. And so what was cool about that is you can systemize it to where it's like a very duplicatable process. It's just duplicating the pitch deck and then changing out the logos and then changing some of the copy, as opposed to having to get your whole team to build it. And that's something that I can just sit down and knock out in an hour, hour and a half. And, while that's still an hour and a half of work to get the deal, if they're going to pay me $30,000 for an hour and a half of work, certainly worth it in my book. And so I would just blast out those at the end of every month. I'd go back to everybody that didn't close and then just stay on top of them. And then, much like what it sounds like you're doing, I will follow up until you tell me to fuck off. And then I will still call you 6 months later and try again, because you never know if things change.
Yep. Love it.
It's like what's that Jordan Belfort thing? You follow up until they buy or they die. I think that's kind of it. Yeah, man. T, what's going on with you, bro? How are things going? T owns a branding agency, just as a side note.
Cool. Yeah, no, nothing much is going on. Just sort of, I got a call with Alex Tuesday.
Yeah, so it's only been 48 hours.
Yeah. Nothing much. But what do you do, Patrick?
I run a e-commerce growth agency, so paid ads, email, creative, mainly in the fitness space. So like supplements, majority of our clients like supplement, CPG brands. Yeah.
Fair enough. I heard you mentioned LinkedIn. Is that for lead generation and stuff?
Yeah, I built the agency pretty much purely off the back of just like LinkedIn. Just like I'm posting content daily for like 3 years now, and then just like built a solid network there. And so I think the thing about that's like I only have like 5K followers and connections, but like I've just been like in front of the right people for so long that like there's a lot of fly by nights on LinkedIn. Like if you do a push for like 30 days, you don't get results. You just have to like stay there, and then the industry people will like start to you get positioned as an expert, and then you're just getting hit up for like random stuff. So that's been the one thing that I was like consistently grown my agency. Now we're talking to Alex a lot about like paid ads and trying to scale up that way. Yeah.
Right, gotcha. Well, I just started an agency. I've never done any sort of business before, so I'm pretty much a newbie around here. Looking to learn from
All right,
you
we'll
guys.
get you there, man. We'll get you there, man. One day at a time. That's it.
One day at a time. That's
Everybody had to start somewhere. My first like 6 months, I had no clients, and then I got one client to pay me $2,500, and then that was 5 years ago, and here we are now. So it just takes time and persistence and down in the offer. We've been working a lot on like trying to position his offer and get it right from the beginning, which has been fun to kind of work through some of that stuff. So
yeah, definitely.
Yeah, somebody's hopping in right here. I think Anthony is hopping in, which is cool. But yeah, I know Anthony, what's up, man? Can you hear us?
How's it going? I can hear you.
Hey, what's up, man? How you doing?
Good. How about yourself?
I'm doing good. We're just kind of wrapping right now. We're just having some fun talking about our agencies and what we're doing. And so I know that you're also in the position of you work at a marketing agency and you're trying to start your own or thinking about starting your own and going that route.
Yeah. So right now I work at a advertising agency as a project manager. And yeah, just trying to like I have a small business in like photography. And trying to see how like those worlds mend together. But yeah,
no, cool, man. Yeah, some of the people that we employed who were like, we had a media buyer who went off and started their own agency. We had an account manager who went off and started their own agency, and so really good place to be if you're trying to learn like what that agency world works with. But you do photography specifically?
Yeah, like my small business, I do like weddings, photo booths, and all that good stuff. But there's other stuff that I've thought about, like product photography or just like any other sort of photography to try to help businesses as well. So definitely something that's piqued my interest, and I kind of see it sometimes real time with the agency that I work at. But definitely something.
Yeah, makes sense, man. Makes total sense. Yeah, it's funny. Patrick and I, when he first got on here, we're talking about product photography and how most e-commerce brands have really shitty product photography. And so that was something that I saw all the time. It's a really easy sell, in my opinion, especially to get your foot in the door with brands and then be able to sell them on more stuff longer term. But good packages specifically around product focused brands, because they need it for Amazon, they need it for Facebook, they need it for the website, they need it for everywhere. And then if you could tack on even a graphic design component on top of that, hey, I'll make these photos and then we'll also turn them into graphics that you can use for ads or whatever. Super easy package you can put together and sell, which is kind of what we're looking for.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, kind of all that is a little bit up my alley. Like I have, stuff I've dabbled in all of it. So yeah.
Makes sense. Well, obviously it's just 3 of us here and I've got 45 minutes or so. And so my goal is to make this as valuable as possible. If there are questions that you happen to have, or I can share my screen, walk through a couple of things that I'm working on. So ultimately, we'll throw it back to dealer's choice. You guys got questions, or would you prefer me to just kind of walk through some stuff I'm working on?
We'll start with some questions, I guess.
All right. Bylan, what's up, man? Patrick, Bylan is also in Fort Worth. So we got a little Dallas crew going on here.
There we go.
Hell yeah. I like it.
No.
All right, T, what's up, bro?
This one's more for Anthony because he does photography. I know you said you're trying to start your own agency now. And Alex just mentioned doing graphic design on top of product photography. And that's something I was also looking to offer as a monthly retainer later on, once we've got everything going. Obviously, because I do photography as well. My sister is a graphic designer. So is that something you've explored, Anthony, in terms of a monthly sort of subscription thing?
Definitely. Yeah. Like when I was thinking about it, and again, this is always like something that's like in the back burner. It's like in my brain that I just kind of like bounce around. But yeah, the way that I thought about it and just like videos that I see online and just stuff that I learn is like, yeah, you can absolutely offer stuff like at a monthly basis that you can continue to like. But
Yes.
have I like in terms of like actioning, like actually doing it, haven't like sat down, thought about it, like, okay, what's the pricing, what's the value,
Yeah,
what kind of we offer?
super. Just something I'll throw in. Super easy package for like ongoing creative on the photography side is like a holiday focus package. So every couple of months, there's going to be another holiday that people do e-commerce stuff for, whether it's Labor Day, July 4th, Black Friday, holiday, New Year's, all that kind of stuff. So a really easy subscription that you can do, and it doesn't necessarily because. Well, it's pretty. I mean, you can set it up monthly or quarterly, but even having like if you were to do every month holiday focused photos for your campaigns and for your website, if you really want to fucking crush them, then you also add that we'll build a landing page on top of that for each individual holiday. But just on the photography and graphic side, you could do New Year's, Valentine's, spring has fucking sprung, April Fools. Like there's something that you can do the whole way through. And so that's a great recurring product photo package, even better with graphics, even better with landing pages as well. I was telling Patrick about a Black Friday offer that we used to run that's very like all encompassing. But anything around like opportunity, I'm always looking for like where are the opportunities or the times where e-commerce brands, specifically that's what I mostly work with, but this is true for most businesses. Where are the times where they're looking to take advantage of particular cycles in the market? Same thing can be done for like election focused graphics, like we've got that coming up. And so if you are funny enough to make some memes that can both integrate with graphics for the election as well as stay on brand and on message or whatever else, depends on the client, because some clients like A, don't want to be involved, and B, there's no way to make that connection otherwise, like without really reaching. And so yeah, ongoing on that side, I mean, you can turn any service into ongoing, and that's really my thought process through like, especially how do you sign big deals, is get a one-time thing that they pay for a 30 to 60 day service and then upsell them into a recurring monthly, which should multiply whatever results that they got out of the first thing. Either extend or multiply is probably the best way to say it. Hopefully that makes sense.
Yeah, 100%.
Nice. Anybody else got any questions? Like we're not a lively group today, but that's okay. I'll carry it. I'll stand up here and yell and say fuck all the time, and we'll have some fun. And I do have some stuff that we can walk through that I've been working on in case you guys are curious about how to sign people to pay you a lot more money than just $2K a month.
So I guess in terms of pricing, when it comes to something like the holiday offer, or even the different slides that you showed us on I think it was the first video that we kind of went over. What was your pricing like in terms of that?
I'll answer that question. Just jog my memory. When you say the first video that we went over, what do you mean?
Yeah, my apologies. So the first call that we had,
you
went over your deck and you had the Hero hybrid production.
Oh, you have you have the whole deck, huh?
Yeah,
I forgot it was even called that. Yes. So I like to have two offers, which is like the introductory offer and the upsell long-term extended, but there are people who are going to be willing to just get the long-term extended like right away. And if I ask them questions in the sales process and that seems like a better solution for what they're looking for, I'm still going to pitch them on the longer term thing. For you specifically, again, everybody, Byland does video creative here in, well, not Dallas, Fort Worth, whatever, same area. And so for that, like we were charging 10 grand just for, this was our like total offer. It was one concept. So we'd go through all your data, all research, competitors, whatever. Here we'll build a concept built around like what we think is going to work, and then offer you multiple hooks, because obviously the first 3 seconds are the most important part. If the first 3 seconds don't work, the rest of the video is worth fuck all. And so we do multiple different hooks. It's super high production, and then we deliver it in a 4x5 and a 9x16, a 16x9, so you could do it in multiple places. And then we'd also include a report of like, here's all the strategy that we're using, here's where we think you're like valuable, here's what you should do in the future. And so we charge 10K one time for that. And then based on that, when that goes well, if they get good results from it, then we'll upsell them into typically quarterly creative plus 3 months of ad management at a time, and just do 90-day cycles on that side. So depends on how you want to like shape it. If you want to do more UGC creative versus like higher end video, most of your stuff's higher in video from what I remember. And so I would be looking for like 10K plus. The other thing, and I was thinking about this the other night, is like so much of the perception of whether or not it's worth even doing this is in the price. Cause like if your shit's $4,000, you get a $4,000 outcome. If your shit is 10, 20, 30K, like the expectation of what that can give you is so much higher on the other side. And especially when you're talking about people who have the budgets to invest in this kind of stuff, like if they don't think the outcome is good enough, even if there is an ROI, it's not worth like their time and effort and resources to go and like invest in and engage you and even go down there. And so I would shoot for you specifically for an introductory offer that's between 10 and 20 grand. It's a one-time video creative build. They can plug into their ads, they can run those, and then once they get the results, you then try to upsell them on like a monthly creative or a quarterly creative. Yes, that's my thought.
Solid.
Nice.
I'm gonna do that.
Hell yeah, sounds good. Let me know how it works.
Yeah, I mean everything that we've covered the past couple weeks it's been gold. And I think
Nice.
just based off of your teachings, I feel very comfortable that we can do 1 million next year. So
I'm with it. I think you can too. And you get to find out if I'm full of shit or not. So hey, you can put it into practice and see what happens. So that'll be fun.
Yeah, because I mean we have similar stories. So especially with the DMs, like how you kind of built your agency with the DMs, and
I love DMs.
Yeah,
that's another thing that people suck out of DMs because they treat DMs like cold email and they try to send an offer. That's another thing for anybody trying to get clients. Like don't just message people and go, hey, I'm gonna make you all this money if you pay me, and they're gonna say like, no, the fuck you're not. So I just try to start relationships in DMs, treat them like you're trying to get a date. If you're not good with getting dates, well, maybe we'll start there, and I'll tell you how to do that too. I'm getting married, so don't tell nobody that I said that. Just a joke, fucking around. Well, that's cool. Anybody, anything else?
Yeah, on the DMs.
DMs.
I know you post up on the school group on DMs, but something I think that would be super helpful for me, maybe some other people as well, is actually seeing some sort of examples of you guys having done that.
Yeah, definitely. I don't have them pulled up. I will have to search back so far in my Instagram to find that stuff because all those messages are from like 4 years ago. But yes, I absolutely can find some. The process that I like to use is pretty straightforward on it, and most of it's like not like I think that a lot of people, especially because marketers try to sell you this, that there's some fancy secret script that you're going to use that's going to work or whatever. Almost never the case. Like typically I just find people that I want to build relationships with, and this works like on the low level or the high level, is that I just try to genuinely build relationships with people that I find on Instagram who I think A, are interesting, and B, I think could be a client in the long term. And so if you just compliment them and they're willing to respond to a compliment, because if they don't respond to a compliment, they'll probably never respond to anything, then you can just start to build that relationship. You wait until they post about their product or their business or whatever, just kind of chime in there with a little bit of, hey, have you ever thought about this? Have you ever considered this? Like, what have you done for this? And then they start to talk to you about the problems that they have in their business because they already trust you. And that's such a big piece. And that's what most people suck at with like outreach in general, is that they're just going for the kill. It's like asking a girl if she wants to get married or do other things the first time you like talk to her. And that's certainly not going to work out unless she's a whore, and then you probably don't want that anyway. So, whatever. Excuse my French there. I get a little excited sometimes. So yeah, then the people who immediately respond are usually not the ones who I work with anyway. So, yeah, man, DMs are kind of a slow and steady burn as opposed to like a paid ads where it's more just like, this is what I sell, fucking book a call right now and let's talk about it. But they both have their place. And I think that's the same, like DM wise for like, I know, maybe Patrick will debate me on this one, but I know that with LinkedIn, a lot of people go like cold offer first. They treat it like cold email, and like that certainly can work for sure. But my experience has been that building relationships through DMs on any platform typically works better if the goal is like, I'm trying to land a bigger fish, because most bigger fish, unless your offer is so, I've never heard of this before, what the hell are you talking about and how can you have that outcome? Unless that's the case, which most agency offers are not like life-changing to that degree, or not that like crazy unique is probably the right word, then relationships tend to work better on most platforms. From what I understand, my mind will change if the data also says that. That's just been my experience.
Yeah, that's the same. I mean, that's the same with LinkedIn. Like, it's not like I'm saying like, I'll guarantee you to the extra rise in 90 days, and it's just like a slow burn of just like reacting and everything. So it's same exact thing. But yeah, I want to kind of ask so I made a few adjustments based upon your kind of feedback with the ads we're running. Again, I'm my budget right now is 3K. You kind of said just like dump 10K into it, which I'm not opposed to.
Sure.
Faster. I just want this to like work, but I'm also paid, but I just want to like figure it out, obviously. So kind of like with this, I'm thinking about like, I think this is what I asked you over DMs, but it's totally fine. I'm wondering if this is fine to do it where I'm just like testing those offers through the creative and like doing that, but still saying apply to my like generic website.
Yes.
Like, is that fine? Or
I think that is the smartest way to do it. I think that's the smartest way to do it.
Because that's pretty much what the example is like. I remember that as I just dropped ad that you sent, like that one was ripping.
Really?
And 100%. Yeah.
Hell yeah.
But yeah,
100K didn't go to waste. Hell yeah.
No, I definitely remember it. But yeah, that's what I picked out. Was like obviously ad, and then the website it's not like a direct response VSL or anything like that, So
yes.
I guess I'm just kind of talking to myself here, and you're just confirming that I'm on the right track.
No. I mean, I think that's right, man. Like the way to, like, you can test an offer in two ways. You can do it on a sales call after you get somebody all the way to the end and like try to pitch the offer, and then if it doesn't work, you got to like change in real time, or you can send it through cold ads and cold email and just go, hey, I sent out these offers with this messaging X number of times, obviously same across all of them, and I got the best response from this one. Now, the thing obviously you have to track is like from offer on ad to sales call close, like what does that rate look like? Because that's ultimately the most important, like what's the best ROI on any individual ad or offer. But yeah, I would take like not super resource intensive to make creative and messaging, and I would just test a bunch of stuff. And then, I've looked at your landing page, like it's both generic and specific enough to go like, hey, these are the types of things that we do. And if you want to do like any sort of landing page testing on top of that, like I would literally take your same landing page, duplicate it, and just change the headline. And then change the headline to whatever the offer is with a button that says book a call, scroll down to the bottom of the page, fill out their form, whatever. Because I think, 90% of your page is just like about us, our process, what we've done, that kind of stuff. So yeah, test that shit on ads for sure. And that'll save you a lot of headache.
Okay. And in terms of like budget, like should I just stop being soft and just start ramping things up and test faster? Like, am I like just for a B2B offer like this? Because like obviously, like I'm fine if CAC is 3K if I'm making 30K, lifetime value, whatever. But is it just like, am I playing too small like with that 3K budget?
Yeah, it just depends on how fast. It just depends on how fast you want the shit to roll. Like that's ultimately all ad spend is just like I'm dumping gas on a fire. And so like, if the expectation is it's going to cost you, $2,000 to get a client, if you spend $2,000 on ads, it's going to take you all month, right? Or if you double it, it should take half a month. And obviously, it's not 1-to-1 like that. But a big piece of this is just being willing to run with it. And like obviously, like another thing you get with a lot more ad spend is a lot more data, a lot more quickly. Yeah. And so it just depends on the speed at which you want this to happen. And so if you want to be, and I'm going to use your word, so don't come at me if you want to be soft. I didn't say that, you did. If you want to be, like, by all means, man, you can slow trickle this thing and maybe you'll get a client by the end of the year, or you can just fucking ramp it up and see what happens. Right. And that's the other thing is like, from at least just what I have learned from the, I guess, 30 minutes on this call and 30 minutes on the other call from your agency is that you've got at least a little bit of free cash flow that if you invest a couple grand into ads and don't get the result that you're hoping for, it's not going to put you out of business. And if it is, well, then we'll talk about, let's go a little harder on LinkedIn then. But you've got a little bit of free cash flow that you can allocate to that. And so I'm not saying you got to triple it overnight, but if you're spending $100 a day, go to 200, 250 and see what happens.
Okay.
Again, just based on the speed at which you want shit to happen. So if you spend 250 a day and you burn it, don't come at me. Not my fault.
No. I honestly understand how ads work. I'm just like, I'm more so the data. That's the thing. Like the data, I think that's a big thing. I hate like waiting like multiple just to see like, because it's obviously versus e-com when we're talking about B2B lead gen like this. It's like lead cost of like $100+ or whatever if you're doing like to a form or whatever, and obviously that takes a lot more data to get there. So that's what I want to speed up, and obviously, yeah, okay, cool. That works.
I mean, our average cost per lead was like 100 to 150, and there was a time where I spent 6 months trying to go, how can we get our lead costs from $100 to $50? And I tried 1,000 different ad creatives, different campaigns, all these different things. And every single time what happened was like when lead costs went down, so did quality. Like you're not going to get people who have $1 million, $5 million, $10 million like marketing budgets cheap. You're just not. And so like when I see leads that come in at 100 to 150 bucks and I check the first couple of them and I'm like, oh, these people are really within kind of like the ECP that we're going for, then I'm super happy with that. And it's like, let's just scale that move. Because ultimately it's just about, if you pay 100, get 1 out of 2 on the phone, close 1 out of 5, you're doing all right.
Yeah.
Really close 1 out of 3, but whatever.
Yeah. So with that lead cost, because one thing I did change based on our conversation and seeing yours is like the form to the Calendly. Like I think I've had before, like when I got this landing page up, I had a super high friction type form that was like way too much overkill to a Calendly. Then I said scratch the type form and just do the Calendly. But then now with running ad and seeing yours, now I have just like the basic form, like same fields that you have, then to the Calendly. Are you saying that the lead would be like just from website to just opting into that, or are you saying like maybe through like other? Really? Okay.
Yeah. So we would have. Yeah, typically what we would have is about like our form was this, and we tried Typeform, we tried Calendly directly on the opt-in page, like all these different things. Our flow was just like add landing page about our shit, form to opt in, that's about $100, and then redirect to a book a call page. I don't know the number off the top of my head, I have to look at the stats, but it's like 60 to 75% of them would immediately go ahead and book a call. And those who didn't book a call typically were like not the right caliber of what we're going for, or they just. Another thing is, the Calendly on the page is difficult because a lot of people may be interested in your services, but they're not ready to book a call today, or they don't know what their calendar looks like the rest of the week. And so they get off the page and then they lose you and you never see them again. And so for that first touch point, I want to make it as easy as possible for me to get their name, email, and phone number. And so that's why I like the form opt-in. Type form is fine, I guess, but I think it depends on who you're trying to go after. Like people who are of the caliber that can spend the money that we're talking about, like they're not going to sit there through your 20 question type form. Like they're just not, they don't have time for that they're not going to sit through your fucking DSL. They're not going to sit through your type form. They're not going to do all that shit. It's just like, hey, what you said looks interesting. I want to learn more. And let me put in this right now. Let me put in my phone number. And, a lot of times these people, like I do this myself all the time. I'll see an ad, I'll see a landing page, and I go, this is something that I don't need today, but I feel like I will in the future, and I don't want to lose it. So let me just put my information in. And then you just put those people on your list and cycle through them with value and case studies and whatever over time. And then you start to have those people reach back out to you. And so I always want to make it, I want to assume that the person who is my ideal client is the most busy person in the world. And I want to make it as easy as possible to get their information before I lose the opportunity to talk to them again. So
yeah, and then you probably obviously had this on the site you sent over, but like the call to action on your site throughout it, like right now I have like schedule a call, apply to work with us. Is it like to get more information? Like was it still like booking a call? Like was the intent of that form they knew they're booking a call?
I mean it's just like if you want to chat with our team, if you want to learn if this would be helpful for you, if you think this might be the right solution for you, like I like more so in sales and in marketing, but at least in sales, I like very hands-off language, like very not pressure, not pushy language. But yeah, I just like, if you want to learn more, or if you want to see if this might be the right thing for you, let's chat, like, let's talk with our team, get more information, that kind of thing. I don't like the, like, apply for an audit call or like apply to work with us. I don't like the apply to work with us specifically because I think that most prospects know you're full of shit. And if I come over to you and I hand you 10K right now, like 95% of the time you're going to take it. And so like, don't tell me that I have to apply to work with you. Like you apply to work with me. I just think some things that like work in certain spaces are not super like market aware, right? Like if I'm selling, like you sell to like you're going after construction companies. These people have not spent a ton of time in marketing and like understand funnels and whatever else. like especially e-commerce brands, like that's DTC marketing is the thing that is the lifeblood of their company. And so like they know all your tricks and you're not fooling them. So let's just not, let's not lie to people. Let's just tell them, hey, here's what we do. Here's the success that we've had. And if you think that this might be helpful for you, let's talk about it.
Yeah.
Make it easy.
Yeah. Yeah.
We all
agree.
Hell yeah. That's good. Anybody else?
Yeah.
Like
So
we all, let's go on, Dylan.
okay. Yeah. So on that same topic of ads and all that good stuff. So how were you targeting these e-commerce brands? Were you like building out a list or broad? What was kind of your?
Yeah, so we would just run 3 campaigns. Like you'd probably be surprised at how simple like our setup is. Especially lead gen doesn't need a bunch of crazy shit, in my opinion, on the audience side. We do like one that's broad open, one that's people who are interested in e-commerce and also our Facebook business page admin. And then we do one that was a lookalike audience of our top lead. So I would keep like one of the questions on our form would be like, what's your current revenue? And that'd be like 0 to 10K a month, 10 to 25K a month, 25 to 100K, and then 100K plus a month. And so I would take everybody that's 25K plus and I would put them in a list, and then I would just upload that to Facebook and then do a lookalike of that. And that's how we got that's how I would win that's cold traffic. But yeah, I mean, I keep it simple. And then most of your heavy lifting is going to come on the creative side, testing a bunch of creative and hooks and messaging and whatever else. But Facebook's good enough that like if you feed it the right creative and are generally pretty close on the ads from an audience perspective, that it'll find the right people after a little bit of time. So it's not like running e-com ads that you need to have super complex systems or whatever. And typically what would happen is like you'd find over the course of like 3 to 6 months that one campaign audience would just outperform the other. And then like, obviously what you want to have is UTM set up to track like what campaign they came from, what ad they came from. So that way you can just dump more on there. And, we don't want to I never really looked at like Facebook's cost per lead. I'm more just manually every day at the end of every day going like, which, we got these many leads. A lead came from this, 6 leads came from this one, half were qualified, 3 leads came from this one, all 3 were qualified. So even if the cost is a little higher, I want where I'm getting a higher, like a better cost per qualified appointment versus, just overall, what's the cheapest thing to get somebody to fill out a form? Because ultimately the goal is not to get leads, the goal is to close deals. So I want to focus more on that.
Okay.
So yeah, super simple ad setup, nothing fancy.
Cool.
Just good tracking.
I appreciate that.
Hell yeah. Happy to help, man. Having a good time, dude. I'm start blasting some more music up in here. All right. You're about to ask a question.
Not a question. I was just about to say, I feel like all of us are complicating things a lot, and all I'm seeming to be getting from you, Alex, is just keep it dead simple.
Yeah, a lot of that is that for sure. I think, to everybody's credit, and I've struggled with this shit myself, like there's a million people telling you to do a million things, and it's really easy to complicate things. And something that I struggle with even to this day is I enjoy being behind a computer, fucking with shit, building shit, making shit, dealing with shit, like all that kind of stuff. And so oftentimes it's more fun for me to sit there and go, well, I'm going to build out 35 different audiences and different ad campaigns because I want to test all this stuff and I like messing with it and see if I can get one over on Mark Zuckerberg, which never happens. But, at the end of the day, it's simplicity is usually the answer. The thing just becomes like, you've got to test a bunch of stuff to figure out what that simple right formula is for each individual, kind of fit on your business, which is why I'm doing this. Because hopefully I can tell you, hey, don't try all these. I already tried all that shit. Didn't work. Burned a bunch of cash. Just do these, like, those 3 audiences. So yeah, man. It is about keeping it simple and don't listen to what everybody tells you. Maybe even me sometimes. I might be full of shit. You never know. You never know. All right. Anybody else? Thoughts, questions, comments, concerns?
I mean, I have another question, but I'll just wait if anyone else has something to say.
I think it's all you, bro.
Okay, then I guess for Balin, Patrick, and you, Alex, how important do you think is social media content in terms of client acquisition? I know you obviously need pretty like a decent page if you're going to run paid ads, otherwise someone's going to come to an empty page. But is that something that should be prioritized at an early stage?
Depends on where you're at. Depends on what you do. You are correct that if you're running ads or doing outreach, people are going to look at you before they respond 99% of the time. So it's good to have at least like a base level of content. I would say for you specifically, because you're doing branding, like somebody needs to land on your page and be like, holy shit, this looks really good. Because you're selling as much of that. Like I'm a big believer in show, don't tell. So I don't just tell people you're going to make great branding for them, but like let them go to your website and your IG and see that you have fucking incredible content, a great branded website, whatever. Your brand's great, therefore they'll think it's good. And so like it's certainly helpful, especially if you don't want to spend money on ads. It's a lot more helpful if you don't want to spend money on ads for sure. But I think I think you need to have a baseline. We didn't put a ton of effort into content, but I think over time, content has become more valuable because that's where people do most of their research. And so I like to make content that showcases the work that we've done before, provides helpful insights of things that I might find valuable. I know Patrick does a ton of content, so maybe he's got some insights on what he likes to do. But yeah, man, I think you need to have a baseline, and then, you know, it'll be very helpful with client acquisition and people just discovering you. If that makes sense. I don't know what your thoughts are, Patrick or Byron.
Yeah, I think I don't know how much it's not like I still like my content is just like very niche, doesn't get like a ton of likes or views, but it's like intentionally there for the purpose of nurturing. Like it's less so like I'm looking to go viral and attract clients. It's more so a nurture process. And when someone books a call, they're like, I don't know, the dude, you guys are probably familiar with him, probably see all this stuff like Ravi Avivala. I don't know, he talks about content like
scalable system guy. Isn't that
yeah, he talks about like, which I think is true, like 6 or 7 hours of content. If you get someone consuming 6 or 7 hours of your content, like they're so warm, and then that sales call is like, it's like so easy. And I've definitely experienced that where they like,
sure.
That's why it's such a priority, especially long form too. But the thing with all this, because when I was early on growing my agency, I would think that's like the one thing I need to focus on right now. And like, that is not the one thing to focus on. I can do content at scale right now because I have like a team that just does it for me. It's very off my plate. So I think it's there. And the more, I mean, if you're doing branding or if you're doing something that's very visual, like I would just rip like, here's a brand I love, or here's a company I love, like, and just do your own remakes if you don't have current clients or testimonials or case studies, and just like show your work and then be like, I can do this for you. And you might not have actually worked with that brand, but like just show that you're competent. I think you just need to prove that you're competent and like a good dude to work with, trustworthy, someone trust.
1,000%. No, I agree with everything you said. I think kind of the big takeaway from there is like it's very helpful to have that, because if someone can spend 6-7 hours, they will do it. But at the same time, it's not 100% necessary in order to be able to close clients, because a lot of people don't have 6-7 hours, or they're looking for a solution today. And so you want to have, abilities to do that. But yeah, I mean, you're 100% right. If you get somebody to watch your content all day, well, they certainly trust you. So yeah.
Gotcha.
Hell
Thank
yeah.
you.
Any other questions? I got something that I can roll you guys through that I've been working on if you want to see it.
Let's do it.
All right. Hell yeah. That was my I hope you say yes, be nice to me request. Okay. So obviously I've been building this agency scaling school. Everything's been for free. Of course, this is going to be a paid program that I'm going to roll out. Preface, this is not me trying to sell you guys into this thing. This is me showing you what I'm working on, asking for honest feedback, and we'll go from there. But if you want to buy it, hey, just hit me up and we'll talk. Maybe I'll show you my sales process. Okay. So we'll share my screen and I'll go through this. So this is essentially the big thing that I want to help people be able to do, which we've talked about a bit in here. Everybody in the market right now is telling you get a whole bunch of really small clients that pay you $1, $2, $3K a month, get 25 new $3K a month clients. Super fucking cute. In my personal experience, that's the quickest way to burn down your agency and want to shoot yourself in the head. Sorry if that was a little graphic, but that's how I felt every day. So what my focus is I want to help people add up to $100,000 a month in monthly recurring revenue by signing 8 to 10 enterprise clients. What's an enterprise client? Somebody that can pay at least $10,000 a month for a contract for your services. So I will show you this roadmap that I've been working on, where in 12 weeks, you can do exactly that. And maybe this sounds like a sales pitch already, but I promise it's not. Okay, can you see that?
Yep.
Hell yeah, everybody. Sounds good. Okay, so 12 weeks to 100K MRR. A couple of things we need to do here. You need to develop an ECP, that's an enterprise client profile. Who are the people that you're going after? Specifically, what does that look like? And soon you will have all this good information. I'm giving this part away for free of how to define it, how to build your two-step offer, how to do all that good stuff. But you define your ECP and your two-step ECP offer, which is an introductory offer to get your foot in the door, and then what you do to upsell them into long-term 6 to 12 months retainers, right? A couple of things you need to do in that first week. Define who your enterprise client profile is. You'll create a statement that says, we help this very specific enterprise client achieve this benefit by this method, which is different than all of our competitors. We'll build a two-step offer, and then we'll craft a pitch. I like a nice 3-pillar pitch that makes it super easy. So that's what you want to do in the first week. You can knock that out pretty easily, at least in my opinion, if you put your mind to it. Then you'll need an ECP cold traffic funnel. So what does the funnel look like? Find people who are of this caliber. How do we get their attention? How do we get them to opt in? How do we get them to book and actually show up to a call, right? So we'll need to build out a lander for them, creative specific, a booking redirect. How do you pre-qualify them? Pre-call email and SMS scripts to make sure they actually show up to the call, tracking and attribution, and then meta ads, right? How to get all that shit rocking and rolling. Next, you'll need an ECP sales process. I'm sure you're starting to see a trend here of ECP and enterprise and everything. Hey, that's called branding. Maybe T can teach me a thing about that. So we'll need to map your sales process. The discovery script is very specific to how to get these people to actually open up, because all these people have been pitched 1,000 times from a bunch of different agencies, and they have a very large bullshit meter. So we want to make sure that we're getting them to open up, which is big here. Pre-objection tracks, how to handle objections before they happen, because they always do and they're always the same. Most are logistical and you can handle them. A pitch deck for them specifically. Love a good pitch deck. If you're not using a pitch deck, I highly recommend that you do. A 2-call process, because you're not going to close most of these people. You're not going to get someone to pay you 10 grand a month the first time you ever talk to them, I promise, unless they're just very ready to go, which mostly doesn't happen. Follow-up systems, and then tracking systems for acquisition to make sure that you're not burning money. And then after that, retention and upsell, right? So how do you onboard these clients effectively so they have a really great experience and don't see you as some schmuck, but go, wow, this guy's really professional and like it really kicks some ass for us long term. How to deliver great experiences, not just delivery, but like how do you build great relationships and get them to like see you as an asset for their team. How to do client communication is very different with very expensive clients than it is with cheap clients. How to handle upset clients, because that will inevitably always happen. And that was something that, unfortunately, I hate to say that I have far more experience in than I'd like to, but it's something that we got really dialed down for a system to how to handle clients who are pissed off. And then a 2-call upsell system, how to move them from one to the next. And so we'll do that. And then optimization, we'll go through sales call recordings. Whoa there. Go through metrics, how to figure out what your winning messaging is, double down on your ad creative and how to multiply that out, diversify into other channels. And then, obviously, how do you scale acquisition through hiring setters and closers and being able to build a process for them. So that's what I'm working on. It's going to be a 12-week program for that. I'm going to give away all of this shit for free in week 1 so anybody can have it and do it. And hopefully it's helpful. So if you're curious about what the hell we're doing here at Agency Scaling School and what the plan is, it's helping people build these systems so they can close a shitload of really high-paying clients and not have to deal with the headache of low-paying, high-churning, time-demanding people who, you'd be better off not serving anyway. So, yeah, hopefully that makes sense. Curious if that makes sense, I guess. I feel like I said a lot of shit over the last 5 minutes.
Yeah,
totally makes
that's
sense.
fire. Yeah,
Oh, yeah. That's good.
I think the good thing about what you're teaching, Alex, is that you're teaching people how to get these 8K to 10K retainer deals versus, a bunch of $1,500 deals. And I mean, like you said, when it comes to kind of client communication and then delivery, it gets annoying when you have so many different clients. So I think this is definitely a different way of kind of going about things. And I really like that.
Well, I appreciate that, man. I do. I know, like, all you guys are in the agency space, and so I just wanted to ask a question if it's okay. Like, I know you guys probably see tons of offers and shit all day long. Do you see anybody else that's like pushing this whole like sign big clients, sign enterprise clients? Do you see it anywhere in the market?
I haven't seen it recently, but there was this one ad that I always saw that was like these guys claiming that they worked with like Disney and Fortune 500s and that their program would be like that president thing. But I think I don't even know what that was called. I remember watching a training on that, but beyond that, it's all beginner stuff. That's why I'm excited about what you got going on.
Nice. Okay, cool. Anybody else see any of that stuff? Like, hey,
Yeah, I
something
mean,
you need to pay a month type thing?
yeah, there's a guy, I see his ads all the time, and he's doing something similar, but it's more so just for like video agencies. It's not specifically for, I guess. Well, are you targeting agencies in general, or are you going out there,
So,
maybe e-commerce?
Can I ask you to repeat like that last just like 10 seconds? That's all.
Yeah, so I guess are you targeting agency owners in general, or are you going after creative agencies, or?
That's where I'm trying to figure out for myself, right? Like, I don't want to pigeonhole myself and go just creative agencies or just e-com agencies or whatever, even though that's the thing that I did. I worked in a creative agency, but also an ad agency that worked with e-com brands. But we also work with info products and some service brands and whatever else. And so I've been mapping out like who I kind of think this is for. Genuinely, I think it's like 4 agencies that are already established that already have like 5 to 10 good instances of results they've had for clients. Because the biggest thing in like signing one of these like really high-end clients is they're going to want to see proof of like the work that you've done. And so like I've sold a very expensive branding deal. I've sold tons of expensive video deals. I've sold tons of expensive ad deals. I've sold $10,000 website packages, and so I don't know if I necessarily want to pigeonhole it just one type of agency, because I've done it for a bunch of different like verticals, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, well, there's a guy, he focuses strictly on video agencies, and he has an offer kind of similar, but other than that, no.
Nice. Okay, what's his name? Let's look him up. Where it is.
What's that?
What's his name? I'm looking him up.
He said, what's his name? It's kind of cutting out.
Yeah, his name.
It's Master Filmmaker.
I think I know what you're talking about. I think it's like that. And I definitely haven't ever seen the ad. I remember like 2 years ago, like seeing that kind of like that for the sign like Disney and whatever, which is cool. Okay, cool. Well, yeah. I mean, if you guys have like thoughts on what I'm doing or ways that I can make it more helpful or valuable, please let me know, because genuinely I just want to help some people with this shit, because most people suck and are lying about what they're doing. And I know how difficult it was to grow our agency. Like, it damn near almost killed me. But yeah, not to be dramatic or whatever. But it was very difficult. So if there's any ways I can help, questions that you guys have, whatever, I'm going to keep doing these on Thursdays, just full transparency. There will probably become a time where this turns more into like webinar training style than trying to sell you into the program or whatever. Just full marketer transparency there. But at least for the next couple of weeks as we build the community, I'll keep it this format. But once 20, 30, 40 people start showing up, then I'm going to have to put on a sales hat. We can't have as much fun just shooting the shit. So, got a business. Trying to get married. It's just expensive. So, I figure all that out. Just playing. Okay. Well, this has been cool. Any other thoughts before we kind of wrap up here?
Yeah. Just one last question. I guess when you first got started with your agency, did you have an end goal in mind? So was it to exit? Was it to kind of just keep it running? And the reason I asked is because I'm just running this agency. I'm like, yo, what's next? Like, don't want to exit,
Yeah, I mean, ultimately, it just kind of depends. I think the cool thing about I'm gonna fucking lower this down real quick. I think the cool thing about agencies is like it's the one vehicle, at least that I'm aware of, and I'm sure it's not the only one, so whatever. But it's a vehicle I'm very well aware of that you have the option to do a couple of things with, which is number one, you can just turn it into a cash flow cow. That's just like, hey, this is something that makes 100, 150, 200K a month. It's all systemized. I pocket personally 40, 50, 60, 100K a month, whatever that looks like based on your margins. And it just does that, and it just pays for your lifestyle. And then you can just live however you want to live, or you can go invest in other things. You can start a different company with the cash that you've already got, which is cool. Or you can go, hey, I just want to scale it as quickly as possible and then sell it and move on, because I'm looking for a big payout of, $1, $5, $10 million as quickly as I can. When we started, the thought process was we're going to scale this as quickly as we can and try to sell it. All of that happened. We just sold it for way less than we were hoping for because of some of the mistakes that we made along the way, obviously. So for me, I guess it was just like I've been selling shit since I was 14. I was very interested in marketing, and I wanted to run my own company and like build a company like that had employees and whatever. So starting a marketing agency, heading up the sales, doing client acquisition, like that just made sense for me. And so I did it. And the thought process was, I'm going to eat shit and not take any money and sleep in a room with my 3 fucking partners for 2 years just because we want to make this work. And that's what we did. And then, obviously things got better over a while. And then as, some of the issues that I've talked about before kind of came to fruition, we decided to sell so that we could get out of it. So yeah, it was build and sell at one point. And then eventually it just got to, I just need to get the fuck out of here and do something else after 4 years of dealing with all that stuff. So ultimately, man, it just comes down to what do you want to do? Like, how do you want to do it? And that's probably going to change over time. Like the shit I wanted to do when I was 21 is very different than what I want to do at 31. So yeah, just depends on, my answer is just like every good marketing guy, it depends.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. So no real answer on that one. Just depends on what you want to do, man. You want cash flow or do you want to exit?
Yeah.
And the way that you build the agency is very different for those two things. Because one is like spend 12 hours a day doing this, build it up very, very rapidly. But the other one can be a much slower build because the end goal is not, we need this as quickly as possible. It's just, you're just trying to build up cash flow for yourself. So it just depends on what you want. If I had to go back and do it again, I would not do the scale to exit. I would just do cash flow for myself. If you're asking, which you didn't, but that's what I would do if I could go back and do it again.
Okay. Cool.
Yeah. Gives you more freedom, ability to do whatever afterwards. And then you can just sell it too, if you want to do that. So
I feel like we've unintentionally been doing that the past couple of years. It's just like the cash flow side. And I mean, for the most part, I like it. But yeah, I was just curious.
Yeah. It's up to you, man. That's the cool thing about life. You can do whatever the fuck you want.
Absolutely.
Cool, guys. All right. Well, this has been fun. I appreciate all of you for showing up. We will be doing this again next Thursday. And in the meantime, if you have any questions, let me know. Happy to help.
Cool. Appreciate you, man.
Thank you.
Yep.
See ya.
Peace.
Well, man, take care.